guys, Artosis here with the CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is the round of 16 Group A, and this is game number 2 in a best of 3 between Stork and Soma. If you haven't checked out game 1 yet, I definitely suggest you go do that. Game 1, we did see Stork take down the young gun in Soma. Soma pulled the trigger on some heavy Zerglings early on, tried to get that damage, tried to break through the wall, couldn't quite do it. And then Stork kept such pressure on Soma. He went 2 Stargate Corsair to really overtax his overlords and make him make a lot of spores. He went for a bunch of Zealots and just continued to pressure him into making more Zerglings. And Soma, when he finally did get around to refilling his economy, he might have done it a little bit too much. Stork was able to kill him off with a beautiful timing attack just before his production started. So Stork showing the old guy still has it left in him, looking great. And now, let's not forget, this is in the losers match, right? This is, if Soma loses again, he is out of the tournament, which is wild because Soma's one of the names you hear when people ask you, who's going to win the next big tournament. So kind of crazy to see. Stork, of course, if he gets eliminated, that's no fun either. You want Stork to do well. I know I do. All the old guys that were really good champions back in the day, the big names, it's so fun to watch them continue and be able to fight against the younger players and just use their big brains. And, I think that's a big thing about Stork. He's just a very smart player overall. He's actually kind of known as being the slowest pro gamer from the old modern age. But he makes up for that with his just fully optimized build orders and some great decision making as well. Definitely a commander-in-chief of no weak points, if I had to say so. Just an old nickname of Stork's. It's kind of funny. Now, Stork once again going for a gateway opener. Soma going to scout that right away, and so he has a ton of intel now. He knows Stork's location and his opening build. Stork, though, his probe going to scout Soma last, just going to the top right first and then to the top left. He'll get down here and figure out what's going on, but obviously, he's going to send this Zealot out towards that last base that he hasn't been able to scout. Sees the drone on the way. And I think that's like a reasonable scout. You can see this is how good Soma is, that he'll actually bump into the Zealot purposefully to try to slow it down. And then he'll just run the drone away. But yeah, here comes this Zealot. The spawning pool almost done. Definitely going to be able to put a little bit of damage out. We'll see how much he actually gets. Now, the probe, look at this from Stork. He's waiting with the probe where he knows the drone wants to go. So the drone actually has to turn around here. It's already taken a bunch of damage. Stork going into the main base here with this Zealot. Gonna start picking off on these drones. Ooh, a good turnaround there from Soma. Saves that drone. 2 drones are 1 hit from death. Stork is hunting. He gets one of them. See if he can get the other one. Goes behind the mineral patches for now. He wants to break out this way because he knows the flank is coming in. He wants to kill that other drone. Let's see if he can get it. Tries to get in there. Some beautiful drilling from Soma, and he protects the drone. That's some high-level micro on both sides. I love what Stork was trying to do, trying to capitalize upon that, but it did not work out. Now, Soma actually making a fair amount of lings right now, right? He's got 10 Zerglings out, 2 more on the way, and Zergling speed coming up. Only 2 hatches. This is a very aggressive move. Stork does have his Nexus coming, throwing down his Forge as well. That's a lot of Zerglings, though. And Stork has another Zealot out here, so I think that he's starting to realize that this could even be like an all-in that we're seeing from Soma. He needs to pull some more probes. Yeah, and he is going to pull those probes down. The gateway taking a bunch of damage. Uh-oh, his Zealots actually get stuck out there, surrounded by the Zerglings. The Zerglings trying to get in on top of this cannon. If they can cancel that, that could be game. Stork in so much trouble here. He's going after the gateway. A Zealot does pop out, a very important Zealot. In the meantime, Stork going into the main base with a Zealot and probe, trying to get some counter damage done. Another cannon has been started, but it is a long way from finishing. More Zerglings being sent. A third hatchery going down. We don't have any defense in the main base. Only 8 probes are actually even mining, and with his gateway going down, this is not looking very good. Zerglings can continue to swarm here. He throws down a gateway to try to help that wall, but the cannon gets targeted by these lings. More lings starting to flood in. Stork cannot stop them from getting in. 2 cannons have been forcibly canceled so far from Soma, and Stork's economy is in tatters. Now, there's no drones really for Soma either. He's only got 9, so there's still like a possibility if Stork can hold on, but no, he cannot. That is it. GG. Soma takes game number 2. Well, guys, that was such a quick one. Let's just jump immediately into game number 3. This is the deciding match for these two. Woo! Soma being so aggressive so far in this series. Stork, I think, you know, he almost had the defense. He made some great moves there on Polypoid, but wasn't quite enough to hold on. Sometimes those Zerglings just start getting in, and there's not much you can do as a Protoss player. Probes are just not good at fighting. Now, very different map here. Optimizer. This is one we've been talking about a lot. You know, it's on the ladder. It was in ASL. It was in CasterMuse Star League Season 4. It's kind of everywhere right now. You got the mineral patches, of course, you can mine through or jump through to take the kind of islandish expansion. You have the double gas. Just in general, the map has a bunch of light geysers of 3,000 around it to kind of make up for the fact that you have so much potential income of gas like immediately. But yeah, it's a map that I think gives us very interesting games in, I guess, all the matchups, really. Maybe not anything particularly interesting PvP or ZVZ, but yeah, definitely a fun one. Hoping for a longer, more epic game here than what we saw in game 2. Although, you know, you got to have some rushes mixed in here and there. Now, Stork looks like he's going to be going Nexus first, I think. Kind of interesting based on how aggressive Soma's been. He goes pool first sometimes and everything. He's actually going hatchery first here, so if Stork is going for that Nexus first, which it really looks like, that's actually going to be really good for him. This is basically what you want to be playing against. You're not going to have to be really worrying about dying, basically, if your opponent's going hatchery first. So he goes ahead, throws down that Nexus, and we'll see when he makes the gate. Looks like it's going to be like a 14 Forge, I think. It would be insane if he made a gate. That would be too much. We're just pure gamble at that point. Gateway. Okay. Well, I'll just shut up now. Now, I guess in a way you're taking a big risk here as Stork. Like, that's for certain. If your opponent is going like 9 pool, you actually just die. You just cannot hold that. But if your opponent is going hatchery first, like, this is the greediest build you can have as a Protoss. Literally. There is not a greedier build that he could be doing here. So, I mean, good on Stork. It's going to give him an advantage because we see what Soma's build is. His pool's not done yet. He's not going to have anything. And, yeah, I imagine we're going to see a Forge relatively soon. Someone's going to get over here and see, oh, it's a Nexus first followed by a Gateway. What? Okay, I guess so. Over on his side, he is making a few Zerglings here. And he is getting Zergling speed right away, which is something that we've seen in all the games from Soma so far. Again, you know, this is a Zerg that absolutely has a full range. He can play those big macro games, but he is an aggressive Zerg at heart, really. You look at his Zerg vs. Protoss, you look at his Zerg vs. Zerg, you look at his Zerg vs. Terran, all of them kind of hinge on the fact that he's very fast, he's got great micro, he's got killer instinct, which those are, honestly, if I may say so, the scariest things from a Zerg player. Now we finally have the Forge starting from Stork. That feels so late. I love it, though. I love seeing something like this. Like, he's taken a few risks here and there, but it's going to give him a great position. Now look at this. Oh my God. He gets in and sees the Hydralisk Den, sees the complete lack of a layer. Stork knows everything. And with the economy that he's been able to create here, he has got to be feeling amazing. Now, Soma might switch gears. If you get this scouted, can you still do the Hydra bus? Truly? He's not getting any Hydra upgrades as of yet. Just droning. Yeah, see, he's just droning up pretty heavily. And I mean, if you see all that and you lose your probe and there's Zergling speed, don't you have to make a bunch of cannons as Stork? Unless you're going to do the mind game of like, nah, he won't attack me now because I saw it and I'll block it. Man, StarCraft's such a complex game. It's crazy. Well, a single cannon is coming up right now. There is Hydralisk speed on the way. A few Hydras being produced. 22 drones. Normally 3 hatch Hydra busts go with, yeah, actually, I guess 22 drones, right? Because you got 3 on gas, plus the 9, the 7, and the 3 on the expansions. Yeah, that sounds about right. Another hatchery coming down. So he is going a little bit more macro here, but there are Hydras on their way. Another cannon being made from Stork. Citadel coming up, and looks like the Corsair are going to go across the map to scout what is going on. And this is kind of nice because of the Nexus first. A lot of times your Corsair comes out a bit later, and if you're playing against a 3-hatch Hydra, you literally fly over like a bunch of Hydras that are on the way to your base. Here, he's going to fly over the first 3 Hydras that are making their way, which is going to give him a lot more time to react. The more Hydras he sees, the fact that speed is done, we can see him throw down a bunch of cannons at this point. So Stork with just beautiful timings this game, like really nailing it as far as being as greedy as possible, but also maintaining safety. Now the Corsair flies over the 3rd base and sees the addition of a couple hatcheries. And there are more drones being made. So this is one of those kind of fake Hydra pushes. And it seems like Stork has figured that out. He's not overmaking cannons. Because, I mean, if you play against a weaker Protoss, they're going to have like 8 cannons here. And suddenly Soma's going to be ahead because you have no gateways. You can't punish. Instead of making those extra cannons, look at that. A ton of gateways going down. Stork staying on top of things. Did actually get an Overlord as well. Kind of nice. Only a single Hydra here, so he's going to get a couple more. This one going to be falling very, very quickly. Look at the splitting on those Corsairs to try to stop the additional damage from being taken. Brings it back in. And a big supply block happening here to Soma. Stork very much on top of this game right now. Now, Soma did end up breaking down a gateway, but honestly, I don't think that that matters that much for Stork. His economy is looking fantastic. He's up at over 40 probes, which is, again, fantastic for 2 bases. Really getting his mining done. Has that second gas coming up. But we have a big economy now for Soma as well. He's got actually a very nice drone count. He's still making drones, so gonna keep that going. Overlord speed on the way. The Spire is now coming up as well. Yeah, he is really droning. We definitely saw this in the previous game also. But here comes a giant amount of Zealots. 10 Zealots running across the map right now. They have speed and they have +1. How many units does Soma have? Is he going to die to over-droning twice in a row? Well, not in a row. I mean, game 1 and game 3? Here come the Zealots. I think he's dead. Where's his units? He's got like 3 Hydras coming here and 1 coming here against 10 Zealots with +1 in speed. I don't think so, Soma. I think he may have been a bit too greedy here. Stork just looks like he's going to run over him. In the meantime, he's taking his 3rd base as well. I mean, Stork has played such a clean and nice game here. He's on top of the drones everywhere. We see Soma trying to block with his drones, but the Zealot count is so high that he's actually just targeting down these drones as they try to block him. Corsair's coming over, and yeah, that's going to be a GG. Stork advances, and Soma gets eliminated from the CMSL4.